Let's go over that final project. I bet you that felt good to hear, right? Your final writing assignment here. You can see here it says final project. I'll show this again in due dates, but make sure that it is submitted by Friday, May 13th, 11:59 p.m., not Sunday. I know we've been on the pattern of Sunday. I don't want to be throwing you off, but because of the way that the semester ends and because of my schedule and the way that where your final would have been, Friday is the day to get it done. So Friday, May 13th is the due date, and anything after that, again, will not be accepted. So make sure that you mark that on your calendar, and you could always use this calendar here. That is also right there. Reminds you that is Friday, not that pattern of Sunday we've been seeing. All right, let's talk about what it is. Once again, Friday, May 13th. You will do either a hard news story or a profile story. Though I will say this, for the profile story, you could also make it a general feature story. Okay, now I didn't specify that in here because I didn't want to throw students off in the written format here. But if you have a feature story, which is not what you did before, right? You did a profile story, which is under the umbrella of a feature story. But if you feel like you want to do a feature story, you may certainly do a feature story. It could be a little dicey because you may think you have a feature story and it really isn't a feature story, or it isn't really newsworthy for a feature story. So if you have any reluctance or you just want to confirm things with me, send me an email. Let me just give you the go ahead, right? If you're thinking about writing a feature story, I'll give you the go ahead, or we can try to fine tune it to make sure it really falls under that. But you do have that option if you want to take it. However, most of you will want to just do a hard news story or a profile story. You've done a hard news story and you've done a profile story, so you know what they are. If that's the case, you don't have to get those approved with me, right? Because you know what hard news is by now. You can cover a hard news story, and it's going to be very topical because it's hard news. It's happened now, right? So it'll be newsworthy. Or you could do a profile story. A profile story, you were covering a person, you just did one. I've given you feedback, so you know how to do a profile story. So you don't have to worry about getting one of those approved by me. But if you wanted to go under the umbrella of a feature story, and you're just a little unsure, you want to just confirm, I think it's best just to send me that email. All right, let's go over your options, the hard news story and the profile story. And this will go pretty quickly because, as you'll see, it is just a continuation of what you've done before. It's just an extension, right, of what you've done before. But it's the same basic assignment. So for a hard news story, just like before, you must cover a live event that you attend in person. I gave you plenty of options of what a live event is considered in that other video, so you know what falls underneath that umbrella. If, again, just like those of you considering a feature story, if you want to just make sure with me because you just want it for your own peace of mind, please send me the email and I can just make sure. But you have a good idea that you have to be, that's what a hard news story is, and you just have to know that you have to actually be there physically in some capacity, right? Okay, your story must not use reporting from other stories or direct language from other stories, just like before, right? No copy and paste. Even if the Hartford Courant covers it, you can't take their reporting. You have to have at least 2 human sources and 4 direct quotes you obtain. This is a difference from the first assignment. Before, you only had to get 1 human source. This one is 2. There needs to be at least 2 people that you interview at the event, right? 2 people that you interview at the event, and there must be a total of 4 quotes. And so it could be 3 from one from the other, 2 from 2 and 2, but there has to be a total of 4. The quotes must be recorded by you and original to your own reporting. So in other words, it's not something you took from another story. It's not something that you took from somebody's website. It's not something that they played a video and you just took the video. It's from your reporting. It's from your questioning of them. Be between 650, 750 words. Have short paragraphs, 1 to 3 sentences. These are all the lessons we've been doing. Be written in the third person. What I'll be grading on, just what I did before in the hard news story, is it informative and well-researched? It's organization, the structure of it, right? The focus. Is the lead clear? Is it one sentence? Is it clear? Does it fit what we've been talking about as a lead for hard news? The quality of the quotes. So yeah, you got your quotes. Great job. What kind were they? Did it make sense to actually use them? Did they help advance the story? Were they a spice in the story? Or was it just something you threw in there because you felt like you needed some quotation marks, right? That is what I'm talking about. It's the quality of them. It's newsworthiness. Usually less of an issue for hard news story because it's going to be newsworthy just for the fact that it's timely. I think I've given this example already in this class, but I haven't. What would not count as a hard news story is you and your friends had a Xbox tournament and you wanted to cover that as hard news. Nobody cares except for you and your friends, and maybe your friends don't even care. So this has to be something that has broader impact, but even if it's just local to your town, to your neighborhood, that is fine. AP style, yep, you know all about that. How well the lessons from the chapters are being applied, that's my catch-all cheater way of just saying, I'm looking just to see have you been applying what we've been learning, right? That's going to be part of my evaluation in your grade. And is it free of spelling and grammar mistakes? And that's your hard news story, right? It's just really a little bit more advanced than the first one I gave you. Number 2, which is a profile story or a feature story like we just talked about. You must write about an interesting person. It cannot be a family member or friend. It should not be someone you know or just an acquaintance, just like before. And again, if you want to have the feature story, of course, even if it's a feature story, you are interviewing people, right? So it's going to have to be somebody who's going to be involved. But if you do the feature story route, you don't have to be doing a person exactly, right? It doesn't have to just be on that person. It can be on, a story about that person, an aspect of that person, right? So that is where you have a little bit of latitude here. But if you want to just keep it safe, do what we were talking about, or do what you did before, which is profile on a person. Someone that you know is fine, but should not be best friend, girlfriend, parent, right? Anything along those lines. Yes, I most likely will not know if you are lying to me or not. Please just be honest, right? And have some, integrity with it. And it will probably make your story a lot better because you won't be lazy in your reporting. You really got to learn about this person, and it'll just make your story better. All right, what are you going to be reporting on? Do not use reporting from other stories. I just went over that in hard news, so you got that. Have at least 2 human sources and 4 direct quotes. Just like the hard news story, it's no longer enough to just interview the person that you're doing the story on. You have to interview the person and somebody else who knows that person or somebody else who can speak about that person, right? That's where it gets a little. That's the addition to all this. That's the new aspect that you're going to have to figure out. But as far as the quotes, it's the same as the hard news, like I was telling you. It could be a split 2-2, could be 3-1, but there will be at least 4 quotes in there from 2 different human sources. Same word count between 650 and 750 words. Do not go below, do not go above. Have short paragraphs, be written in the third person. We got that. All right, what am I grading on? Just like I did before with the story, how well the focus is defined. Is the theme presented throughout the story? Is there background information, and is it strategically placed, right? Does it seem like it is in the right spot that it's showing up in the story? Is the writing clear, concise, informative? The quality of the quotes, so the information you got from the person. You only have a few quotes, right? How well did you use the best ones, and in what context did you use them? Was the goal method used? Look, at the very bottom line, if you're at least applying the goal method, you know that your story is going to be holistic. It's going to cover many aspects because this is getting to the core of how you actually cover somebody, right? The things that you need to include. So make sure that you can check this, right? Do like a little checklist. Did I accomplish all of them? Yes. Okay. Then I know the story at least has the information that it needs. If turning points were addressed, this was one that I saw in the profile stories. Many of you, I think, either didn't do or didn't do as well. Make sure that you are finding those turning points, right? Something was happening in this person's life, and then something changed. Something took them in a different direction. Something was an aha moment. Those should be addressed. That's a big part of people's lives, right? Make sure that you have that turning point in there. AP style, we know that. Lessons from the other chapters being applied. We know why Professor Shara throws that one in there, and it's free of spelling and grammar. All right, let me just get this last line here that I haven't read. I want to make sure that this is clear what I mean. Note that assignments will be graded stricter than before. I will be looking to see if you apply the feedback from previous stories. The previous stories, while they were a grade, I consider them like, version 1. I consider them your first try at it. Gave you lots of feedback. You've had other assignments since, other exercises since. So it should not be the same quality as before, especially if I've given you direct feedback on something and you do it again. So if I say, hey, there were no turning points addressed in your profile story, make sure you're addressing turning points. And then in this one, you don't address turning points again. Well, maybe you got a B before. This will be a C, right? It's a higher level standard I'm looking for this time. So what you should really be doing is making sure that you are progressing, that you've been taking feedback, that if I tell you got to edit for AP style and I show you all those AP mistakes and you continue to make those AP mistakes, Before I was a little bit more lenient because you're learning. Now I say, well, no, you have learned those, or you should have mastered those. I gave you the ones that you needed to learn. You know what you need to do. You're continuing to make that mistake. It is no longer an AB, it is BC, right? And so that's what I mean by the stricter. It's just a notch higher now in standard because you do know the lessons and you do know what you should be working on and applying here. And I want to see growth in this class. That's the big piece of this. I want to see the growth. All right, that should cover everything. But as I've been saying in all the videos and in this last video for this weekend for this project, email me if there are concerns and email me early. You want just confirmation on a topic. You want me to fine tune a topic with you, right? That's something good to email me. Just give you peace of mind. Make sure that you are going to be flying straight, right? You have any kind of issue, some kind of problem throughout, let me know. You want to bounce ideas off, let me know, right? That's what I'm telling you. It's that don't sit there confused with something. Let me know early with questions, and if you are uneasy or unsure about anything, it's better just to clear it up. Better safe than sorry. Make sure that you're clear, that you feel good about it, because the thing that you don't want to happen is, you just, I think it'll be fine. Then you do it, you're off base, and there's no time to make any corrections or fix anything, right? The semester is over. So proactive is best. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, but really looking forward to seeing how you capstone your semester and seeing all the lessons we've been learning being executed in this and your progress from the class.